Good morning, world. Hey, young world, how are you? It is about that time, man. Welcome, everybody, to See You in the Morning. I am your host, of course, Cletus Cassidy, and welcome, everybody, man. I'm going to just say this. If this is your first time hearing this, you are about to experience something so cold. If not, if you're returning, thank you for coming back. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that, man. You really had choices. You had decisions that you made, and you chose to come out here. That's me checking myself, making sure I'm on, and running. First and foremost, man, I apologize for the couple of days that I wasn't here. We're gonna get into that, but I am here today. So because I'm here, first and foremost, and to get the housekeeping out of the way, man. If I ain't sleeping with you, I'm speaking with you. That's the first thing I do when I get on is I speak to everybody. So let me just go ahead and do that. Speak to the people who have spoken to me. The first three people, of course, win awards. You get a medal of some sort. It's nothing you can wear, but it gives you a sense of pride on the inside. Before we really get too deep into it, man, if you're watching, make sure you share the show with somebody. Hit the share button. Let somebody else know that this is happening, man. That's how we grow as a team, a record label, and a crew. Y'all make sure y'all do that. And if you really feel special about funding the show, the Cletus Comedy is the Cash App. You can always hit that. But our first three people this morning, giving the bronze medal goes to from Nita Rollins Delk. Fernita is a pastry. If you've never had a Fernita, it's delicious. I think a Fernita, Taco Bell is always doing stuff they ain't got no business doing. Taco Bell entered itself into arenas that they got no business being in. For some reason, Taco Bell started serving breakfast. And I don't know who's suicidal enough to say, hey, man, you know how I want to start my morning with some Taco Bell, but they do it. And I think that would be something Taco Bell would sell as the Fernita. Also in the building is Trouble, Marsha Copeland. Already, look at her. Boobs out, stomach exposed, right there in her picture. You already know she's Trouble. And winning our gold medal today, first and foremost, the tiny Crystal Pennell. Good morning, Crystal Pennell. Also here, Christina Waters. Wilberta Carter. I don't know what that means. Miri. I don't know what that means. It must be Spanish for morning. Good morning. T. Mitchell is in the building. Katrina is in here. Crystal Peel. Lynette Smith is in the building. Lisa Bazemore. My friend Tony Fogel. PP. Patricia Pippin. The heart and soul of North Carolina, Courtney Weston Murphy. And Jamal Rucker is in the building. J.R. Solms, what an amazing artist in his own right. If you get a chance to go and check out some of his music, y'all do just that. Mr. Rucker is great. Time to bring the Rucker is what I would say. So no relation to Crystal, unless he is. Then I take it all back. So I know what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, hey, Cletus, you've left us hanging. You treated us like a horrible child. We were an audience of one. We come in to check you out, and what did you do? You just decided to say, no, I'm not going to be here for a couple of days. Thursday and Friday I wasn't on, and I'm going to give y'all the best excuse I could give it to you. Good morning, Monica. My cousin Monica's here. I'm going to give y'all the best excuse that I can give y'all. The best reason why. I didn't want to. I took 2 days off. I didn't want to. No, I was actually away. I'll give you the recap of the weekend plus some. On Wednesday, I left to go to New Orleans, New Orleans. Beautiful city, I think. I'm not 100% sure. We'll get into that. But I went there on Wednesday. What I forgot was that New Orleans is on a different time frame than we are here on the East Coast. I'm usually on the East Coast, and I'm used to East Coast time. New Orleans is a little bit earlier, so I would have had to get up for a 7 o'clock show. It would have started at 6, and then that's just too early. I love y'all and stuff, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't get up at 6. Couldn't do it. I tried. But I needed a life Viagra. I needed a life Viagra. I could not get up. I couldn't get my life started. If my life was the male power source, it just didn't happen. Y'all expect this out of me every morning, but at 6 o'clock, you can't get that. All you getting is, I'm not ready for this yet. So it was too early. And I tried, but I couldn't. Now, here's the other part about it. New Orleans didn't help. New Orleans did not help. I don't know if you've ever been to New Orleans. I'm gonna give you a wrap up of New Orleans in a nutshell. That's what today's episode is gonna be about. Las Vegas calls itself Sin City. Las Vegas has taken the title of Sin City, and they said that's who we are. That is, and I repeat, a lie. The sin in New Orleans ain't got nothing to do, nothing on Vegas. Vegas cannot touch the sin of New Orleans. Vegas is not. Vegas is just gambling, and if you consider gambling a sin, then that's your sin. If you don't think so, then it's not. But Vegas is nowhere near the level of sin in New Orleans. There are times where I felt like the flood was on purpose. There were a couple of days where I felt like God forgot his promise that he won't flood the world no more. And that's where he tried to wash out New Orleans. New Orleans is full of sin. And that's all it is. New Orleans will get you in trouble. Look at it. It's where she gonna have her bachelorette. I saw lots of bachelorette parties down there. It was so many bachelorette parties down there. And I'm gonna tell you right now, gentlemen, if your wife, your future wife, your financee decided to have her bachelorette party in New Orleans, don't marry her. It is the very definition of for the streets. And and this week right here is gonna be Essence Festival week. And I said before, and I'll say it again. If your lady leaves and goes to Essence Festival, hang it up. She for the streets. Now that I've been down there, I really, really know if your wife decides to go with her girlfriends to New Orleans, hang it up. Get all of it annulled. Dolores is going down there on Wednesday, headed to the New Orleans on Hunch Day. Probably going down there for Essence Festival. It's this week. Mr. Dolores, let her go. She's for the streets. And I hate to be that direct about it, Dolores. For the streets. What's going on, James? My man James, his Will Hayes. For the streets. I've never in my life seen anything like New Orleans. Never in my life. My hotel was located right by the Superdome, so I wasn't far from the action. I was far enough from the action that the action didn't get on me. But when I went down to where the action is, it wasn't pretty. There's only two things to do in New Orleans, and in some ways, both of them involve eating. There's but two things to do in New Orleans. It's eat and eat. And that's it. It's so much sin. And while we walk through New Orleans, and I don't know if y'all have ever been to Bourbon Street, but Bourbon Street is drunk. It's drunk with sin. Bourbon Street is the right name of it. First of all, nobody even attempts to wash Bourbon Street. Nobody even attempts to clean Bourbon Street. There's so much trash on Bourbon Street, and I ain't just talking about the physical trash. I'm talking about the people too. It's so much happening on Bourbon Street, and they try to warn you. I don't know if you ever been down there. They try to warn you not to go. There's a gate up pretty much prohibiting it. They say it's supposed to stop vehicular traffic from coming through. But I say if it's a gate up, it's probably trying to tell you you don't really want to be down here. Bourbon Street is the only street I know that comes with a warning. You probably don't want to walk down this here way. It says this ain't what you want. But still, yet and still, I walk down Bourbon Street. And I tell you, for a virgin such as myself, it was rough. It's so much happening out there on Bourbon Street. If you're not strong, I'm gonna tell you what, if you're not mentally and sometimes physically strong, you ain't gonna make it out of Bourbon Street. You gonna call down to your home and be like, put your mom on the phone, tell her I ain't never coming back home. It is. Lisa said it. Bar is a bar next to a bar next to a bar next to a pizza place next to a bar next to a bar next to a bar next to a chicken place next to a bar next to a bar next to a strip club. They had a strip club called Hustlers, barely legal. Barely legal. The store caters to pedophiles. If you don't want no grown, R. Kelly missed his mark. Robert, all you had to do was go to Bourbon Street. It was all there for you. You could have went to the barely legal place. Maybe he didn't like them being legal. There was so many breasts out there. I don't think gynecologists have seen this much vagina. It was so many nipples. I don't even know where all the nipples was coming from. It was just nipples everywhere. Shot girls out there with shots of liquor, just trying to listen, my virginity was in trouble. I had to fight to keep it. They wanted me to lose. I could feel the urge. They wanted me to lose. They wanted me to no longer do it, but I held on. I stayed strong. I said, you won't get me. Things happen to me out there that I'm not proud of. You'll get swept up in what happened on Bourbon Street. Let me just give you an example of something that happened that I don't even know how to explain. That happened. That is me in a near twerk formation in the middle of Bourbon Street. That's the middle of the street, and I'm getting low. I don't even know this person beside me. This person that is to my direct right, I have no idea who that is. But as you can see, I am low. Low, and my tongue is out. We got to explain what happened here. We need some sort of explanation. That's what this city will do to you. That's the kind of stuff that happens in that area. And you try not to get swept up in it. You try to say to yourself, you say, self, I'm not going to let this be. It's not going to be me. Not me, Lord. Protect me from it. But it happened. I ended up getting low. And I don't have a reason why. I don't know why it happened. I don't know how we got there. And I feel bad about it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I should have done better. I should be a better person. But I'm not. I changed. I changed. That's what it says. It says that I changed, and I think I may have to agree with y'all. I think things happened out there that I can't come back from. I think I've been places that I ain't never been before. That area is an area that you just don't end up there. You've got to stay away from there. I want to get some more pictures, but I don't even know if I feel comfortable enough with other pictures. I don't know if I feel like I should do it. There was so much that happened out there. So many things that people thought were okay that really weren't. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been to that area. I don't know if you've ever been there before. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. Saw with my own 4 eyes. I saw it. It was terrible. No man should ever go through that. And if I'm doubling up. I'm doubling up on the fact that if your woman is going down there, look at this. This is the kind of stuff that happens at Essence Fest. You see these shoes? What about this? Why are you wearing these shoes, ma'am? That's a lady, ladies and gentlemen. That is a woman in those shoes. What made her? Why? Somebody explain to me what makes you put these shoes on. What in the I'm ready for anything is this? What in the no matter what the Lord may send my way, gird my feet is this? What are those? What are they? Somebody explain to me what made that woman put those on. She was ready for any kind of situation. Hiking. She was ready for the runway. I've never seen anything like that. T said maybe they're comfortable. I don't need that level of comfort. They got security straps around the ankle. There's a lot happening in those shoes. Those shoes prepare you for what's going to happen while you are in New Orleans. Because anything can happen. She can work out. It's a heel. It's so much happening to her. And I know one of y'all ladies is watching it, and you might be afraid to comment that they cute. There it is. I saw it. There go Crystal. I knew it. Crystal says, I like them. I knew somebody was going to, it's always somebody that's going to buy them. No matter how ridiculous something might be, somebody's going to buy it every time. And I'm tired of it. Now, the other thing that you go down there for, you go down there to eat. People go to Vegas. I mean, not Vegas. They go to Vegas to eat too. But people go to the great city of New Orleans to eat. Food is important. Here's the problem. There's no need to be there if you got a shellfish allergy. I have a shellfish allergy. I'm allergic to shellfish. Now, the only thing it'll do is it'll make my throat close up. So you can go ahead and make the decision on whether or not you want to survive or not. I could always just go ahead and eat anyway. I could always say, let me go ahead and eat whatever they got on the menu down there. I did not, though. I maintained so that I could survive. I maintain that I can survive. The food there is delectable, according to everybody else. This is the kind of stuff that I had to eat while I was there. This is me. I'm out there eating chicken and vegetables. That's what I had. That's me. That's what I end up with. Meanwhile, next to me, look at this. This is what the people around me are eating. Y'all saw the chicken and vegetables of my life. People around me eating whole tables of crabs. Now, this I did have. This was some gumbo that I ate. Some of that was my thumb. I ate some gumbo. The gumbo was delicious. That was like a chicken gumbo. And I felt like, you know what? You only live once. As a matter of fact, it had andouille sausage in it. And I said, you only live once. I'm going to have it. So I did have that. There was gumbo. Let's go back and look real quick. I want to make sure I don't have any nudity on here. That's a friend of mine. Let's not look at that. There's some more friends. That's a whole bunch of oysters. Oh, that was a view from the place. That's shrimps with a head on them. They don't even make the shrimp look right in New Orleans. Don't that look sinful? Don't it look like something negative could happen? New Orleans. There's a bunch of oysters. If you know anything about oysters, oysters are aphrodisiac. You telling me somebody ain't go get it in after that? You trying to tell me that didn't lead to legs on the ceiling? Sin. Sin. And you can tell, fellas, this is what I'm trying to tell you about your ladies. I want you to take a good look at this table. I went out with a group of friends, group of ladies. You can tell we went out with a lady because, yes, that is hand sanitizer in the picture. But if you also look, there's a fan. This tells you that ladies of all ages and creed are ready to go and be ratchet down there. Anytime women bring their own air conditioners. Anytime that woman has a fan and she's still willing to go to New Orleans where it was so hot, I couldn't believe it. That's right, T. Shrimp with the head on it. They leave the head on everything. Just listen to what they doing in New Orleans. New Orleans said his head is okay. That's what they tell you in New Orleans. The food even says head is okay. You got to watch New Orleans. And y'all can go down there. Positive vibes. It's not. I seen a man with a cart full of penises. I mean, not real ones. But I wouldn't put it past New Orleans. That man was selling penises on the street. It wasn't in a little store. It wasn't in one of your little freaky adult toy stores. He had a rolling cart of penises. He had them on the move. It was crazy. A whole thing. And y'all keep going. They had the nerve when I was there for somebody's church to have a church convention in there. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Look at Lisa. I love oysters. Tells me a lot about you, Lisa. Look, good morning, Yana. Now, I didn't get to go to Cafe Du Monde or whatever it is, Cafe Du Monde or Monday or Monde, Cafe Du Monde, whatever you say. It's probably Monde, because Monde is more New Orleans, because it's sexist. And there's a lot of sins. I did get a big net. A beignet. But if you ever look at the word beignet, it says be ignorant. And because that's what they tell you to do in New Orleans. Cafe Du Monde had be ignorant. That's what you end up doing. When you go there, you end up being ignorant. And they had plenty of be ignorants out there. Be ignorant for everybody. And you try not to have those kinds of problems. But it happens. So that is New Orleans for you. Cafe Du Monde has be ignorant, and because that's what you end up doing. I couldn't believe it. It was so much happening out there. If you go to New Orleans, I'm just telling y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying it again. I double down. Fellas, right now, this is a critical time in a lot of y'all relationships. Essence Festival is this weekend. A lot of you got ladies that's going to go out. A lot of y'all got ladies that are going to go ahead and attend Essence Festival. And I'm telling you right now, have the divorce paperwork when you come back. I'm telling you now. If she goes, she's gone. If your lady goes, she's gone. I'm just letting you know. If your lady goes, if she goes, she's gone. There's no reason to be down there. There's no reason for anybody to go. They got voodoo, all kinds of stuff. Let me tell you something. I've been all over the world. Never seen anything like New Orleans. New Orleans, I just can't, I can't even speak on what happened out there. And some of y'all are going to come in here and try to defend New Orleans. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have the ability, if you don't have it in you, you got to be strong. If you're not strong, New Orleans will catch you up. You'll get caught up in the New Orleansness. If you not mentally and physically strong, you'll look up one day and that'll be you. That's me. Walk in the streets, thigh meat out. You see it. You see it. They got me. I'm in the streets with my thighs out. Look at it. That is all thigh meat right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's out there. That happened to me. I got caught up in it. I tried to protect myself and I couldn't. New Orleans is too strong. New Orleans leads the public thigh meat. And not only did I have my thigh out like that, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Somebody tried to grab my private region. I was walking up the street and I got accosted. I know what the Me Too movement is all about now. I now know. It was about the unwanted touching. Just came and grabbed my region. It was unexpected and unwanted. Nobody can tell me a reason for that to be happening. You want it? I give it to you full frontal. Look at that thigh. That thigh's out. I'm bow-legged. I ain't never been bow-legged before. My thigh's out. I'm bow-legged. Somebody tell me where it went wrong. What up, though, JP? With that, I don't even know, Lisa. I don't even know why my thigh meat was out. It just was there. It was just thigh meat all over the place. New Orleans is evil. Get it out of here. Sure, you'll have a fantastic time. And I was there with a lot of my very best friends. It was some amazing people that were down there with me. Some of my best friends. And they didn't stop me. They let my thigh meat be out. We was out there drinking scorpions. They gave us a shot glass that had a whole dead scorpion in it and tequila. And you drank it and ate the scorpion at the same time. I learned all kinds of stuff. I was surprised by the behavior of some people. I had a friend sit there. People become different people once they get to New Orleans. I had a friend sit right there and out of nowhere order a shot of liquor and some pickle juice. I don't even know what the pickle juice was for, but they had it. They had it. Oh, Leisha, a scorpion in the drink. They had a scorpion in the drink. I can't make this stuff up. I wish I was lying. But they get you. See, here's the problem with New Orleans. It gets you. New Orleans will do stuff on purpose to make you think it's okay out there. They will convince you that it's all right. But it's not. I'll show you. Look at this. Tell me that is not a beautiful view. Tell me that's not a place you say to yourself, I would like to be there. Look at this. This is from the restaurant. We went to the restaurant. This was the view before the sun oh, no, that ain't it. This is the view before the sunset. The sun starts. Tell me that ain't beautiful. Tell me that ain't a place you think you would want to be. But the reality is, it's going to lead to sin. You're going to lead to sin. Next thing you know, you're drinking a scorpion. You're twerking and you don't know why. Something has got to be done. Somebody has got to stop New Orleans. I said it and I mean it. Somebody's going to say, we've had enough. Somebody is going to stop New Orleans from happening again. And y'all ladies going down there to Essence Fest, I feel sorry. Fellas, she's gone. You've lost her. You thought you had the love of your life. She is not here anymore. That woman that you know is gone. If she went to Essence Festival, hang it up, cuz. Hang it up. She out. She left you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Luckily, I was able to stay. Luckily, I was able to stay out of sin. My friend JP was there. I had to run security for JP. He was down there. All JP wanted to do was go to Bible study and stuff, and I had to make sure people were hating on him, just trying to be a good Christian man. He was down there injured. He only had one good leg, and I had to be there for my friend. That's the kind of stuff that happens in New Orleans. I had to protect my friend the whole time. It's crazy. We had a little midget. We met a midget named Ronald. And that it was a little gray-haired midget. He was gray, he had a gray beard. He looked like Ron Isley. He was small, but he was feisty. And let me tell you about Ronald. Ronald is a good guy. I know Ronald. He's a small man. He never causes any trouble. But when we got Ronald down there in that environment, he wasn't strong enough. He didn't have the size to fight against the New Orleans pressure. And he started getting thrown out of establishments. And I've never seen that from Ronald. He's a deacon in the church. He got down there, and New Orleans got him. It was crazy. It was crazy. He was a very nice man. Very nice man. But he became different. In New Orleans, it's not fair out there. I was riding a bike, people. I was riding a bike. I looked like Miss Piggy riding the streets in a bicycle. The French Quarter ain't even French. It's not even worth 25 cents. But you don't let your lady go on down there. Y'all go ahead. I ended up twerking, showing my thighs. I did some things happen that I'm somewhat ashamed of. I'll say this. There may or may not have been a wolf pack created that walked the streets howling. And I'm not proud of it. Things happened out there. Prepare yourself. Fellas, if your lady went, she ain't your lady no more. I'm telling you now. If she don't go with you, then she's for the streets. I'm trying to tell y'all, my friend JP, and I hope he doesn't mind me going ahead and showing this picture, but I'm going to show it. JP's face, I'm going to show y'all what, and then I'm getting out of here. This is how good of a man JP is. A great man. Refused to get caught up in the sin of New Orleans. This is the face JP made the whole time. You see that face? That is a man who was not impressed by the sin of New Orleans. Because that's all it was. Sin. Degradation. And JP, being the man that he is, refusing to get caught up in the sin, that's the face he made the whole time. He couldn't believe it. When he looked around and saw all the sin that was happening, he turned his nose up. My bad. The internet tried to stop me. New Orleans does the most. That's right. He was disgusted by the level of sin presented out there. And that's how you should be too. If your lady is going to Essence Fest, have that paperwork ready. Matter of fact, for $9.99, you send $9.99 to my Cash App right now. I will prepare some sort of divorce papers. I don't know if they'll stand legally, but I will have your divorce papers that say I'm out. I'll make sure that those are prepared for you. So when she comes back, you can just give her that. I'm out. The degradation. But luckily, ladies and gentlemen, I'm strong enough that I maintain my Christian virtues. I came back just as virtuous. As a matter of fact, I came back illustrious. I maintained my Christian values the whole time. I'm letting y'all know that now. I said no to all the sin down there in New Orleans. But I'm going to tell you right now, Las Vegas is not Sin City. Las Vegas is not Sin City. Jamal, that's the same thing I said. When I saw that man pushing that cart full of penises, I knew I was in the wrong place. I knew I was in the wrong place. Thank you. Denise knows. Denise said it was a whole lot of sin. So much it made her lose her voice for 2 days. I saw her down there fighting sin. She was just telling people, stop sinning. And it was so much sin, she couldn't even get over there. It was all kinds of stuff. I had to pick a woman up off the street. Literally had to pick a woman off the streets. It was so much happening. And she wasn't even a small woman. This was a full out whole woman. She was full. That figure was not partial. It was a full figure. Had to pick her up out the streets. So much stuff happened. Something's in my eye. I'm just telling y'all. A lot happened. Don't go. Fellas, don't let your lady go down there. Now, thank you, Lakeisha. I was fighting powers of principalities. It was so much that I had to take communion multiple times. And I felt like I had to use the real liquor. I couldn't just use grape juice. I had to use real liquor. I had to take multiple communions. I had to commune a lot. And Tony, look at you. Tony, you want to go to New Orleans. Mr. Fogel is done. And I don't know what the couples did. Oh my, if couples went down there, I'm telling you now, if you are in a relationship, and you ain't relationshiping like you need to, if you in a relationship and y'all ain't having meetings in the bedroom, go to New Orleans. Go to New Orleans. You ain't gonna have no choice. But the spirit of relations is in the air. If you and your significant other go to New Orleans and y'all don't get it in, break up. It's over. Y'all are done. Because the spirit of get it done, it's called the Big Easy. Do it. There are no rules in New Orleans. None. Do it. Get her done. Did I do communion? I had to. One of the churches some people might have called them bars. But I don't even think I drank at any of the churches on Bourbon Street. I don't think I communed there. I may have communed off campus at one of the off-campus churches, but I didn't right in Bourbon Street. I'm getting ready to go. The moral of today's story is New Orleans shouldn't count. Don't you book that trip to New Orleans if you ain't ready. I 100% thank my growing up in the capital of Virginia, Portsmouth, for being the only reason I survived New Orleans. I might do a documentary called Surviving New Orleans. It was difficult. It was difficult. Beautiful place, lots of water, great food, seafood, all that stuff. But if you ain't prepared, if you ain't ready, stay off of Bourbon Street. Go down to Frenchman Street. Now, if you are out of Frenchman Street, that's in the French Quarter. That's where you go if you older and your body. If you completely run out of thought, ladies, go down there. If you completely run out of thoughtness, if you've already had your whole phase and you just want to go down there and eat food good, and maybe have a good time, go down there the Frenchman Street. They got the live bands and music, and it's grown folk. It's they don't move fast. There won't be no twerking. There's probably gonna be more walkers and wheelchairs down that end. But if you still got a little bit of thought in you, if your hips still work well, if you still got good knees, stay off bourbon. Stay off the drink and the street. And if you drink bourbon on bourbon, well, God knows. Well, God knows it's a wrap for you. If you drink bourbon while on bourbon, just know it ain't for you. You'll never be right again, is all I'm saying. You'll never be right again. All right, I'm getting ready to go, man. Thanks all y'all for tuning in, man. Remember, remain virtuous and true to walking in my home. Oh, no, just my son. He's fine. Remain virtuous. Stay out of New Orleans. I'm out. Until tomorrow, I'll see y'all in the morning.